You go midway through the round. Come in. This nigga, bring body. Out we go.
Even throw the punches, your stance must be right as far as your pivot. Start off with your pivot, get on your pivot, and it's light. The jab goes like this. This is exactly how the jab go. Jab.
Counter punching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford.
Floyd Mayweather just dropped in on Terence Crawford's training camp, and he didn't come empty-handed. He brought the blueprint he used to beat Canelo Alvarez back in 2013. Floyd stressed the importance of slick movement, tight defense, and pinpoint counters to dismantle Canelo's aggressive style. If Crawford can absorb that wisdom, it might be the key to shocking the world in his biggest test yet against the powerful Mexican icon.
You bring the hook with it. You can go to the body. Jab. Just double jab. Triple jab.
Canelo Alvarez didn't pull any punches when asked about Crawford at a recent press event. He claimed Crawford's resume lacks any true elite-level opponents. For Canelo, this fight is more than just another paydates, a moment to expose what he sees as a hype train. But this jab wasn't just about facts, it was a mental chess move, aimed to shake Crawford's confidence before the first bell even rings.
The last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since 2002.
Mention me one. You mention me one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look,
it's gonna be me.
I don't
and
care
you
about
will,
anybody else.
And you will see that.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? Same everybody else been saying since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be net. Why?
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Boxing analyst Max Kellerman weighed in with a breakdown that raised eyebrows. He praised Crawford's jab as one of the sharpest in the game today, faster, smarter, deadlier. In contrast, he said Canelo's jab has lost its sting over time. Kellerman pointed out that Crawford's brain might be his biggest weapon, using smarts and timing to outwit Canelo's size and power. A reminder that boxing isn't just brawn, it's brains too.
Best jab,
Crawford.
best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Nico Ali Walsh, proud grandson of Muhammad Ali, didn't hesitate when asked where he stands. He's all in on Terence Crawford. To him, Crawford isn't just talented, he represents the values Ali stood for: heart, discipline, and greatness. Nico sees Crawford as a modern-day warrior deserving of elite status. And his support sends a strong message. Legacy recognizes legacy.
People with Canelo before Canelo's last fight, but then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the buildup for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. he's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But you know, I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything you know, he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades.
Canelo Alvarez showed class when speaking about Terence Crawford's skills. He admitted that at the elite level, weight becomes less of a barrier, true champions adjust and rise. Canelo vowed to leave no stone unturned in camp, knowing he can't just rely on strength or experience this time. His words revealed not only respect for Crawford, but also a clear signal. He's preparing for war.
Smaller guy, and why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
No, if you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why made me change. But you know, I've been in his situation before, jumping weight classes, and when you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard because Crawford is very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reversed. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that, and I need to be careful. I need to be careful in everything.
Showbiz, the adult, broke it down with sharp insight. He applauded Canelo's raw power and brutal training routine, saying it's what makes him so dominant. But he also tipped his hat to Crawford's wrestling roots, saying it gives Bud an edge. In reading feints and setting traps, Dil Showbiz leaned slightly toward Canelo, crediting his ring IQ and natural size as different.
And Canelo uses his legs, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of it, but he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage, and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now, let me know how you feel in the comments below. We're in the zone, war room.
Gerald Miller chimed in with support that felt personal. He's rooting for Crawford to pull off the upset, highlighting the hunger and grit that define him. Miller brushed off talk of size, arguing that desire beats dimensions when the stakes are high to him. Crawford's fire and focus might be the secret weapon that turns the tide in this high-stakes battle.
Crawford, huge fight September 13th. Who do you think's going to win that?
I'm pulling for Crawford in this one. I think people was underestimating his strength right now and his size. And I think he's a little more hungry than Canelo. So let's see though, but I like both guys, but I'm a little closer to Crawford, so I want to see Crawford can take it.
Boxing minds agree this fight will hinge on Crawford's strategy. It's not just another name on the record. This is legacy defining. Beating Canelo could silence critics and crown Crawford as an all-time great. But to get there, Bud must stay razor sharp, avoiding danger and sticking to a master plan built on patience, movement, and surgical accuracy.
He understands that he has to be smart. And I think with this one specifically, it ain't just about being smart. He knows he has to look like he's never looked before, because again, if he doesn't and he beats Canelo, everybody's just gonna say, well, that's Crawford. You know, so I think he knows that this is the performance of a lifetime and that everything has to look right. He knows in order for it to look right, he can't just go out there and let the dog go. The dog is, you know, he got to work his way up to the dog. Hey, show the clip real quick. I don't know if you showed it already, but this is the dog you're talking about right here, right? And so I pulled this clip right here. I seen it on social media this morning.
Don't do that. That's what I'm saying.
And I pulled this clip, right? But this is Terence.
That's who he is.
He's not gonna swing on Canelo. He already know that part of the game. But what I asked you, were you ever trying to send a message to your opponents? He's letting you know, and it's no act. And that's what I really wanted to show, is that's not an act.
No.
That's not, there's 30 security guards.
I don't know, it feels a little contrived.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel it's a little like.
Well, I'm glad you used a big word that most of us don't know.
Hey, I don't fight as good as you guys. I had to learn some big words, right, to make up for that.
Don't look it up. Just ignore.
You need big words to get out of fights. You know, you need big words to get out of fights. But you know, okay. So case in point, our guy Hafey, sitting right there, producer extraordinaire. He had a picture of Terence Crawford in New York.
Terence Crawford's ambition, unmistakable. He's not just chasing a win, he's hunting a knockout against a bigger, more dangerous opponent. And he's not bluffing. He's already proven himself at 154 pounds, handling the jump with ease. Now at 168, the leap is bigger, but so is the opportunity. Crawford's past performances show he's got the tools to swim with sharks, not just survive.
Bud Crawford is taking his undefeated record, putting it on the line, daring to be great, to try and knock off Saul Canelo Alvarez from his throne and go and try to do something that no man has ever done, and that is to be a 3-division undisputed champion. That's a tall task. We know that Canelo Alvarez has fought fighters way bigger than Bud Crawford. It's actually one of the biggest talking points in this fight is the size. Canelo Alvarez has fought guys like Bivol. He's fought guys like Kovalev. He's fought guys like Billy Joe Saunders. He's fought really big fighters who are established at their weight classes all the way up to light heavyweight. And we know that Bud has come from a smaller weight class, being a champion all the way down at the 135-pound division into 140, 147. But as you can see in the tail of the tape, Bud is actually taller. Bud actually has a bigger reach. And quite frankly, he did most recently fight in the 154-pound division. And I don't think he will struggle to make weight to be at 168 and fight as a super middleweight. The question is, though, is bone structure. Who's going to carry that weight more effectively? We know that Canelo Alvarez has been in the weight longer. And as I mentioned, he's fought bigger guys. It's really something amazing for Bud if he's able to pull this off.
Edgar Berlanga offered a boost of wisdom to Crawford before the storm. His advice: don't chase size, stick to what made you great. Berlanga reminded everyone that just stepping into the ring 2 divisions up makes the playing field more even than people think. Regardless of the outcome, Crawford's willingness to face the challenge head-on says everything about his champion mindset.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, you know, show his IQ, show him why he's a 2-time undisputed, you know, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You know, there's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. You know, that could be a difference in the fight. You know, because obviously, you know, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a foot of power. I'm a foot of that size difference. You know, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, you know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not. He can't really. He's testing himself. He's putting himself. Testing himself a great fighter. So, and I don't doubt him. You know, I don't got no doubt in my mind. You know, he's a 2-time undisputed world champion for a reason. So, you know, and I don't think none's gonna phase him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out. So, he just got to go in there just IQ.
Would you lean towards Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size. The only shit that throws the fight off is the size and, you know, obviously the power. And Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ, you know what I'm saying? And Canelo fought a lot much bigger guys, you know? So I know the Crawford's power ain't gonna phase him. I know Crawford's size ain't gonna phase him either, you know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Gareth A. Davies and Duke McKenzie lit up the debate stage, both agreeing this fight is rare gold in today's boxing scene. In an age of ducking and dodging, Crawford versus Canelo is the kind of high-stakes battle fans dream about. Crawford's adaptability, mid-fight his ability to download and dismantle is what separates him. That intelligence in the ring could be the game changer against a force like Canelo.
Really like, I mean, this is a feud. I really like Terence Crawford. I think, you know, we were talking about coaches breaking down. I think that Terence does a good job of that, breaking his opponent down in the fight. I think that he does a good job of adjusting. I do think that, you know, Canelo is a big feat ahead of him, because I also like Canelo. Like, it's kind of one of those things, like, who do I like more that night? It's gonna be a really good fight. I like both of them. I think that, you know, that is something that I think women's boxing does a good job of, is putting on fights like that. Like, we fight whoever. So I think it's cool to see the men starting to do more of that, like it historically has always been.
Tim Chu didn't sugarcoat it. He called Canelo predictable at times, and that's where he believes Crawford will pounce. He added that all the trash talk at pressers, it's theater, not real venom. What is real is the skill gap Crawford might exploit, and Crawford knows this is his defining hour. He's aware this moment could launch his name into the history books or come back to haunt him. The pressure is massive.
Almost made him this great. Do you think that this is a similar thing for your fight now at this point in your career, stepping up and facing someone like Canelo? Does this kind of make you unbeatable and this figure that will just go down in history?
I don't know. I don't know about comparing it to his situation, but it will be a situation where I'll be talked about for many decades to come, and definitely go down in the history books as one of the best fighters to ever lace up the gloves.
Crawford himself has given fans a peek into his mindset, confident but grounded. He's placed his chances at a solid 70%. That number speaks volumes, not cocky, not scared. Just a man who knows how much work he's put in and how steep the climb really is. It's the mindset of a technician ready for the biggest test of his career.
You're 100% certain you're going to win.
We never 100%.
What percentage are you?
70.
To say 70% chance, it just doesn't sound that confident. But I want to say this, though. He was being truthful. He knows how important this fight is. And it's that important because it is very difficult. So him saying this is difficult and I'm giving myself a 70% chance, which is why I'm doing it. It is not because I'm bigger than him and this is easy and I'm stronger than him actually and people don't understand that I'm more skillful. No, he's a beast and this has never been done. And this is not a sure thing. And that's why I'm so eager to do it. That's the definition of greatness. That's why he should be on a Mount Rushmore if he accomplishes it. That's why Terence Crawford is brave.